Hi everybody, I'm Shani Faye Chambers.
And I'm Hayden Crawford.
And this is Wellness Uncut, a show where we explore all things wellness, all different avenues, different topics, different programs within the wellness industry. So Hayden, you were saying that you've been teaching numerology. I reckon we need to have a little bit more of a chat about that because I know that you've done some numerology on me and it was just been very, very eye-opening. So tell me, what first sparked your passion and love for numerology? What was it?
Do you know what? I love that question. That's so cool because I'm not somebody who's interested in math or anything like that. I was pretty rubbish at maths at school, to be fair. But it was more when I met my partner, we both recognised that we had the same birth date. And we're both Librans, born on the 16th of the 10th, so October the 16th. I'm a year younger than him, so he's 71, I'm 72. But what I noticed is that when we met, there was an instant connection, like a chemistry that you just cannot deny. Mm-hmm. And when I started learning about numerology, I could see that there was enough similarities in our birth charts that made us connect, but there was enough differences that brought interest and a new dynamic into the relationship. So it was almost like when I started learning numerology myself, I could see all of these traits so clearly, not only within myself, but within other people. So I decided to learn the best form that I'm aware of is Pythagorean numerology. And there are other forms of numerology, Egyptian, Chaldean, there's all sorts of different forms, but this is by far the most accurate. And I decided, after learning heaps about it, that I wanted to share that wisdom. And the courses that I run now have actually developed quite a lot over the last 4 years that I've been teaching, and especially since the colour mirrors came in, because the colour mirrors bring an extra dynamic and an extra level of information through with the colours, because each of the colour mirrors are actually numbered as well. So there are the first 36 bottles, and in numerology 36 is the magical number, and the reason being it's because it's the square of 6 being the number of creation. So creation times creation is 36. So there is so much wisdom within each of those first 36 numbers, but in Pythagorean numerology we kind of look at the numbers up to 1 to 9, 10, 11, and then 22, 44, which are the key players. But they reveal stuff about your life purpose and direction, your strengths and weaknesses, the best times for you to embark on new projects and ventures, your personality blueprint. Just it's layered full of information. And level 1, I teach people really the basics and how to read their birth chart, how to transfer their numbers into a birth chart and look at their what we call arrows of individuality, which are strengths and weaknesses. So each person has strengths and weaknesses. Level 2 goes more into the name chart, so looking at how your living name, which is the name that you chose for yourself, actually it wasn't your mum or your dad like you think, it's actually you that chooses your...
I definitely chose my name,
Shani Faye.
You know what that means?
What does it mean?
Well, Faye means fairy and Shani is African, it's Swahili for marvellous or wonderful, so I'm a wonderful fairy.
I love that, and you look like a wonderful fairy with those antlers today.
Thank you, dressed by Hayden.
It's quite a diverse topic, and actually it's a science, and so I've actually just been putting together my level 3 course as well, which goes into angelic numbers and the relationship between astrology and numerology as well. So it's just fascinating. It really is, and
it gives you a good opportunity to really delve deep into finding out who you are. Hey.
Massively.
Yeah, and they say there's no greater knowledge than self-knowledge, and understanding who you are, and sometimes that's just why you are the way you are, and some people are sitting there going, why am I like this? It's like, well, it's who you are. Just accept it. And they're like, oh, okay, I'm just being normal then.
Well, that's right, because Pythagoras believed that there was a relationship between numbers, colours and the alphabet. And of course, numbers are just frequencies, that make up our body. And if we think about us, we're just light. That's all we are, vibrating at different frequencies. So when we recognise that, there is no nothing happens by chance. Everything is kind of preordained, and we create everything, even our own birth and the time that we come in to learn those valuable life lessons through the course of our life. We know then that that sort of serendipity is going to guide us through our life as well, so we can draw upon all these layers of information. There was one girl in particular who was on my last Numerology 2, level 2 in Fremantle, called Mehtab Khan, and she had such a profound impact during the course.
She's amazing.
She's amazing, and she set up a fantastic new business as well since doing your hypnotherapy. Soul business alignment. Yeah. She practical happiness it's called, and she's utilizing the tools, I guess, that we both taught her along the way to be able to help people within her own practice. And I feel so inspired by that. I wanted to share something that she wanted to say about both of our courses, really.
Yay, I love Tabs. She's an amazing hypnotherapist as well as now numerology, and she's got lots of other amazing, unique tools and things up her sleeve. So yeah, let's go say hi to Tabs.
Yay. Hi, Tabs.
Hi, Tabs.
Hi, Hayden. I'm doing amazing. Level 1 was really informative, really good. I actually went home and did the numerology that I'd learned on my friends, and it was so bang on accurate. And then I was like, I got to do level 2. And I was so excited for level 2. As soon as I finished, and a week, I think I'd launched my business the day before level 2. And I was like, I have to share this with people. So I've started offering numerology readings. Hayden, you actually did a color mirrors for me, because I have it printed out. I carry it everywhere. And the vibration of the business, which I had no idea, comes down to a 1, which is the sun. And you said it's super powerful. It's sending out joy and happiness to the world and light. So I'm like, yay! The Soul Business Alignment Workshop was very transformational. I have to say thank you to Shani, and thank you to you for level 2 numerology. That was just amazing. I can't wait for number 3. Bring it on.
Excellent. All right. Well, listen, thanks so much for your time today, Tabs. That's been brilliant. And it's so nice to see that, it's all starting to come together for you in a very profound and kind of guided way. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we have another audience question. Hayden, what is it?
Well, it's an interesting one, this one, and it actually applies to a lot of you ladies out there, and particularly if you're married, obviously. And it's to do with success and how husbands deal with their wives' success, whether that's in business or whether that's with friendships or, whether it's with health or just any aspect of their life. How do husbands deal with it?
That's a really good question, actually, because, it can really change the dynamics, especially if the wife was going from being, maybe just the housewife to suddenly having a very successful business and maybe even turning into the breadwinner. I guess it could really change the dynamics quite a bit, can't it?
Definitely. I mean, for me, because I'm in a gay marriage, I don't really come up too much with that type of dynamic or energy. I guess with you as well, not meaning to...
Not meaning to what?
Sounds awful.
Go on, you can sound awful.
You're not married, are you, Shani?
No. My husband's in another nation. My imagination. No, but it's been interesting over the years dating, because I am quite successful and I am quite passionate and do a lot of things, and seeing the ways that different personalities react to that. Some are really like, oh, wow, that's really cool, good on you. And they've got their own things going on. And then other guys would be like, cool, can you give me a job? And I'm like, what? So, yeah, I'm probably not the best person to ask about that one either. So it looks like we've got a bit of a dilemma.
It's a dilemma.
We need to dilemma.
Hey, guys, it's Emma Romano here. You got a dilemma, call Emma. So this week's dilemma is this. What if a woman becomes really successful, especially in the coaching, the healing world, and they have to deal with a husband who's used to being the successful one, and now the wife gets further up, right? Gets more. This is an interesting one. I have got a few top tips, and I've got a few things people may agree with and may not agree with, okay? So this happened to me. My husband is a very, very, very well-known builder in Melbourne, carpenter. And people wait for 2 years for him. He's never had to advertise. He's always been on. He was the money maker of the household. And the last probably 18 months, I've been the one who's making more money, and I'm traveling overseas, and I get to do all this cool stuff, right? So my success has risen really substantially in the last 18 months. How did we handle it? A lot of the people that I coach and the clients that I see are in the same boat. The number one problem, there's two. Are you ready for this? One, choose your man. Because if your man is sitting there trying to pull you down while you're trying to rise, get rid of your man. Two, this is a big one. This is huge. Are you ready, ladies? Your significant other half doesn't have to be in love with what you do. Get me? They don't have to love what you do. They have to love you, but they don't have to love what you do. So I am completely 100% in love with what I do. I get to change people's lives. I get to teach. I get to train. I see transformations in people every single day. Great job, right? Huge. Does my husband love what I do? Nope. Doesn't float his boat at all. Does he love me? Absolutely, and very passionately. My husband is a carpenter. He's very passionate about his work. Extremely passionate about it. Really loves his work. Do I love his work? Nope. Am I passionate about it? Nope. Do I love my husband? Am I passionate about him? 100%. Do you see where I'm coming from now? So I think a lot of women specifically are looking at our other halves to give us our significance within ourselves, because we find it very hard to find it within ourselves. So for those of you who are really successful and you're battling with this guy, stop trying to make him love something that he can't. It's like you trying to tell me, hey, Emma, you know, Brussels sprouts are really good for you to really fall in love with them. I'm like, ew, no. But do I love you? Yeah, I love you, but I don't have to love your Brussels sprouts. Does this make sense? You're on your own journey. You don't have to take anybody else with you. Your partner is there for a very different thing. This is top tip number 3. There is not one person in your world that can tick off every box that you need in your life. I'll give you an example. So my husband is a great friend. He is a great travel partner. He's a great husband, a great father. Am I going to tell him all the gossip and the niggly stuff? Hell no. Am I going to tell him all about what my clients have done? No. I've got other people that can fulfill that within me. Does that make sense? That one person can't be everything to you. It is exhausting. Here's another top tip. If you are getting really, really successful and you're getting further than your husband, and your husband's like, look, you know, I'm feeling really inadequate here, I say the person who's successful needs to take responsibility. And how are you taking responsibility of how your partner is actually feeling? That's a huge one. So if my husband is feeling inadequate, I'm like, what am I doing to help that? What am I doing? What's happening here? What's my languaging? Am I being a little bit egotistical? Am I talking too much about myself? So what I do is always check in with your family first. Always check in. So if you're a really successful coach or a healer and you're off traveling the world, I never come home and just talk about me. I make it very, very important that my top priority is my family. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope this is really good top tips for you, because you know what? You can have your cake and eat it. But just because your partner is not in love with what you do, my husband's very proud of me. He talks about me everywhere. Does he want to do what I do? No interest. But he's there to support me. Is he in love with what I do? No, but he's madly in love with me. That's what counts. That's what counts. That's all you got to know. So there's Emma's dilemma. Thanks, guys. Mwah. Hi, Shani. Hi, Hayden.
So for our next section, each week we give the audience members an opportunity to receive a free colour reading with the one and only Hayden Crawford. So this week we've had a beautiful lady, Claire, who won the reading. So Hayden, what's going on for Claire according to the mirror bottles that she chose?
Well, can you see, like, just from that beautiful array of coloured bottles in front of us, you know, it already starts vibrating a message. And there's a lot of red energy coming out of her bottles. That's the first thing that I notice with the way that you've answered your questions, Claire. So what I've done is I've basically sent Claire 5 separate questions. One bottle represents where she is in her life right now. The second bottle represents where she wants to be. The third bottle represents what her life will look like if all of her current situation is resolved. The fourth bottle represents her biggest, the action steps that she needs to take, and then the fifth bottle is her biggest challenge or obstacle that's stopping her from getting from where she is now to where she wants to be. So that's these 5 bottles in front of us. So yes, we noticed that there's a lot of red energy. So red is about survival. In a lot of cases. So this scenario really is about clearing issues of safety and security, but I'll explain as we go through. So the first bottle that Claire picked out was the Awakening bottle. So this one here is magenta over copper, and it represents where she is in her life right now. So Claire is waking up, actually. She's waking up to recognise that there is no separation, that she is divine. You know, she's a soul living on earth. And, you know, really it's that whole process of kind of recognising the truth behind the illusion that, you know, that we're separate. So it's a massive thing. She's very sensitive at the moment as well. So where she wants to be it was quite an interesting choice she picked out, Shani, because she's picked out the base chakra bottle. Now, as we know, the base chakra is where our survival issues are stored. It's where our safety and security is, and the coral really represents like relationships, but also our physical body as well. So she wants to clear all of these survival issues. This feeling of not being safe on the planet or being supported in a relationship. You know, it's also, there's a lot of anger that's stored in the subconscious mind within red. So it's clearing of frustration, anger, but it's also giving her physical body a boost of energy. You know, so she might be feeling depleted or feeling tired or you know, just lackluster at the moment. So that's where she wants to be. So she wants to clear all of this away and actually activate her red energy, her physical body. The bottle that represents what her life will look like if this current situation is resolved, she's picked suchness out. Now this is a beautiful bottle which is orange, which represents bliss and enlightenment in its positive form within the conscious mind, and then in the rose pink, which sits within the subconscious, this is to do with divine love. Now this bottle is called suchness because it helps people recognize the suchness of life, that actually, you know, the things that have happened to you where you felt like you've lost control or been abused or had trauma in your life, that all of those things actually happen for your purposeful good. And that when you recognise that your baddies loved you enough to teach you the lessons to be able to help your soul evolve, then you can kind of bring forgiveness into that whole thing and let it go. And it's a 10. So C10 is the evolved sacral chakra bottle. So it's when the sacral loses all of that feeling like a victim or like a martyr, or that you've been abused in some way. It brings this divine love into the awareness, which can really shift that old pattern. You know, the victim and martyr. I mean, we all can play it from time to time, and sometimes, you know, we play it up until a point that we recognise that we don't need to play it anymore, and the penny drops, and we can actually release that old story. Now, the bottle that Claire has picked out for the bottle that represents, you know, how she's going to get there. So this is really her action step. Is Saturn. It's bottle 8 in colour mirrors, and it's lilac over violet. So this one really tells to step out of judgment of herself and other people, and to recognise that the future is built on solid foundations. The 8 is about independence, so really it's about her stepping into her own power again, her own wisdom, and organising her life more, and but really take away the judgment, because there's a lot of grief stored within the subconscious mind here. Violet in colour therapy is connected to grief, but the lilac is really connected to angelic guidance and wisdom. So really taking stock of all of that, and making sure that you're taking practical, process-driven sort of steps to move forward. Now, the interesting thing is the bottle that she picked as her biggest challenge is called Return from Atlantis, and this is copper over this beautiful sort of deep turquoise, and this really represents water, but it's called Return from Atlantis because it helps to clear trauma from past lives where you've maybe abused your power, in some way, but it's also that programming that you get in the utero. So when your mother was pregnant with you, that water that was around you carried information. So it was all like her stories, her beliefs, all of that. So it can actually sit within the DNA, it can sit within the cellular memory, and really this is a clearing of past life stuff. Now I know you're a real proper guru with being able to help people clear their timelines and do the ancestral clearing, but that would be, for me, for Claire to be able to move forward from this sense that she's unsafe on the world, and to recognise that everything that's happened to her along the way is actually for her purposeful good. She maybe would need to have some timeline therapy or some ancestral or some DNA clearing.
Yeah. Beautiful reading. I actually know Claire. She came to see me about a week ago for a session.
Oh, really?
So yeah, very much what's going on for her. So perfect reading. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her shift through, and it is a bit of awakening that she's going through at the moment. So perfect. I love just seeing the way that these colour mirrors always play out and just speak straight to the unconscious of what's going on for a client.
Yeah, and of course, like what Claire could actually do is pick the bottle that most resonates with her. So say, for example, she's drawn to like the Return from Atlantis bottle or the Suchness bottle. She can actually pour that remedy, because these are very powerful vibrational remedies, into her bath and bathe her body in it, and it will go straight into the cells, into the memory of that, and it will clear it from the subconscious. So could you imagine the power pack that comes from the clearing that takes place through Shani's systems and processes, and also the wisdom of the colour mirrors going in and shifting the frequency within the cells? It's almost like a total transformation that can take place. So
yeah. Return from Atlantis is one of the first ones that I bathed in.
You did as well. I remember that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Were you swimming with the whales and dolphins when you were
Well, somewhere. Everywhere.
Well, I hope that's made sense to you, Claire. And again, please leave a few comments below just to let us know, what your thoughts and feelings were.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
And that's just about a wrap for today's show. God, we've had some fun today.
Yeah.
But because it's the end of the year, let's have a little look into what's going to be happening next year for us. So, Hayden, 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
Do you have any goals or New Year's resolutions that you're hoping for?
Well, I do actually. It's funny because 2020 in numerology is quite significant as well, because if you think it's almost like an amplified 20, and 20 is actually the awakening bottle that we were discussing earlier on. So it's about, really for me, it's really waking up to my my truth, and to continue with that process, really, that there is no separation, that we are, living out temporary human experiences, and we are, sort of immortal souls, really. And I want to be able to share that, more and more with the work that I do, with courses that I'm running. So my workshops remain static to a certain degree. Like I'm going to be running a Reiki Masters. I'm also going to be doing Numerology's level 1 to 3. I'm going to be doing Cosmic Consciousness courses, but I'm going to be doing more and more of those kind of soul awakening workshops and courses, as well as bringing in sort of tools to help other wellness practitioners who are hoping to set up their first wellness business, helping them with practical tools to be able to get them up and running, so that they can become the best versions of themselves as well. So also the retreat, of course, Soul Nourish, that we're going to be doing together in May. I can't wait for that, and that'll be the first retreat that I've done, and I'm just so looking forward to getting a group of like-minded people together and taking them on a huge transformation over those 3 days. So
there's something really powerful about an immersion. Like sometimes like you can go have a session with someone for an hour or two and it's so life-changing, or then you can have like a whole day where you just learn so much and shift so much. But when you actually stay there overnight and then you do it all again the next day and then you stay again and you're really immersed in the energy, so much changes. Like it's so much different from, you know, because I've done a lot of courses, I've done a lot of retreats, so even kinesiology, that was 3 years full time, you know, and going a couple of times a week kind of thing. But when you stay in that energy like 24 hours by staying overnight, it's just so deep and profound. It really is.
Oh, it's just going to be awesome. What about you, Shani? What's going on for you?
Oh, wow.
Next year?
So much. Yeah, I don't really have New Year's resolutions or goals as such, because I'm one of those people that's always like, what's next? So I don't think that if I was to sit there at the start of this year and look at how much I've achieved this year, none of it, like, maybe a little bit of it was on my radar, but yeah. So I'm not really predicting too much in that sense, because I know that things are just going to snowball and just happen for me. But I'm doing a lot of overseas travel, so I'm going to Peru next year.
Wow.
To spend 3 weeks with the shamans, going to the Amazon, going to Machu Picchu, going to just really, you know, get my zen on. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing what we do here. This is really exciting. We've got lots of cool new ideas and things, especially as I travel around. We're going to go do some filming in different areas with different things. Yeah, those books. Starting to write a couple of books. And yeah, just a lot more workshops and a lot more retreats. We've got quite a few already booked in. We've got 4 retreats, sorry. Me and Emma have got 3, plus we've got 1. Plus Soul Business Alignment in February, so there's going to be a lot more as well. I'm doing HypnoBiz on the Gold Coast. I'm doing HypnoBiz in Amsterdam. So yeah, 2020 is going to be a huge year, and it's going to be really exciting because I feel like this year was the year to birth everything. So it was this new project and this new project and this new project. And when you're birthing things, it takes a lot of energy. Whereas once you've done it once, it's like, it's easy. So now I've got all these amazing workshops and retreats. I think I've got about 7 different workshops that I do. And now that I've got them all done, it's easy to replicate them. So
well, it's so interesting what you're saying about it being the birthing year for all of these, because when we look at the numerology of the year, the universal year cycle, we were in a 3 this year, so 2019, and 3 is Jupiter energy. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. It wants expansion. So that's when things are born. This is when all these creative ideas and the imagination is allowed to sort of grow. And all of these new courses and workshops can be born. Next year, we're moving into a universal year cycle 4, which is Uranus energy, which is actually about, you know, it's the square. So think about it, it's about building foundations, it's about consolidation, but it's also about letting go of all the things that are no longer serving you as well, because Uranus is the planet of the future. And it wants to clear away all the things that are no longer in alignment with your soul's truth and, you know, the golden age of Aquarius. So you might find as a collective that we are, you know, shedding a lot of the old patterns, people, places, beliefs, you know, all of that, to be able to make a way for, you know, because 4 is practical as well. It's the action. So this is really going to be about, you know, sort of consolidating all of that and putting it together, but also in a very realistic and practical way.
awesome. Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah. Should we give everyone a little bit of a rundown about what courses are available each month?
Yeah.
Okay, so have you got anything on in January?
Not January, no. So
I do.
No, sorry.
You do?
I do. Yeah, Reiki Masters, but it's booked, fully booked.
I'm teaching the Sacred Ancestral Clearing and DNA Healing, which is my own modality that I've created and gotten international recognition for, but it's also already booked out. February, what have you got on in February?
February is level 1 numerology, and we're going to be back at a place to just be in Fremantle. So there are places still
What
on.
are the dates?
It's a Sunday, so I can't remember the exact date. It's the
Ninth?
the 9th, yeah. The 9th of February. So yeah, make sure that you book your place because they go very, very quickly. It's only $97 as well for a place on that course.
Can you stop doing workshops when I'm doing workshops?
Are you doing one on the 9th as well?
I'm in Inverloch with Emma. We've got our Inverloch in Victoria. We've got our 5-day Release, Rewire, Inspire, self-empowerment coaching certification program. So that's where we train practitioners. Whether you're a beginner or whether you're very advanced, about 80% of the content is original. And so Emma and I, we create processes that get in and unlock and reprogram the unconscious mind, as well as go through the energy healing, soul level healing, conscious mindset. So whether you're brand new to it, because we're very good teachers, we make sure you get it, or you're very advanced, you'll be learning something you've never seen before, because that's kind of how we work. So we've got that in February from the 2nd to the 9th. It was booked out, but we've just had 2 people due to personal reasons no longer be able to come. So we've just had those 2 spots available. So if you're wanting to become a practitioner, or if you are a practitioner and you want to learn some really amazing new skills, let us know and we'll have a chat to make sure that we're the right fit. So that's February the 2nd to 9th. And then the end of February, the 21st, 22nd and 23rd is Soul Business Alignment with Emma. So that's 2.5 days where we take you through the 4 levels of alignment with business. So you got your conscious level, which you know, it's like, how are you showing up? Do you know social media? Can people find you? What are your conscious thought patterns around your business? And we go into the unconscious mind, which is all your limiting beliefs around success or fears or...
Is that the one I'm supposed to be going on?
What do you mean supposed to?
Well, I've just realised that I've got a course, I'm doing a Reiki 1 on that same weekend on the 22nd. Oh no, you're right. We do. Well, yeah, always running things on the same. We must go through the calendars in the same way. Oh no,
this looks like a good date. Let's run a workshop.
I'll have to do it the next time then.
Yeah, there will be more. There will be more because this is very dynamic couple of days. So yeah, so the first 2 days we go through, or the first evening and then first day we go through all the conscious and unconscious level, and then the second day, the big last day, we do all the energy level alignment. So learning how to actually tune into your business as a separate entity. You can actually ask your business what it needs. The same with healing your relationship with money. We go into feng shui, and then we do massive deep soul level clearing. So we do like a soul purpose reset. So, you know, you have been coming here on this life to live out your soul's purpose many, many, many times, and there's been so many times it has not worked in your favor. And your soul remembers that. So I know personally for me, trying to get into public speaking, well, not trying to get into it, trying to allow myself to do it was terrifying, because my soul remembers all the time. It didn't work out very good for me. So we do deep level soul clearing, and we do a soul fragment reset, so we can bring all those bits of you that have split off due to trauma in previous lifetimes, bring it all back and reset it all. So really, really, really powerful 2.5 days for anyone in business. And you know what, even if you don't have a business, it is 2.5 days of me and Emma processing and processing and processing you. So you literally got 2.5 days of full-on breakthrough therapy.
Oh, I can't wait to be processed, but I'm going to have to. But it's funny because in February as well, I'm also going to be running my...
yeah, tell us about that.
Well, it's the Colour Mirrors practitioner training as well. So this is it's an 8-week online, when I say online, it's me guiding people through this journey 4 hours a week over Zoom tutorials, and then we do a practical day at the end of all of that where you learn how to use the bottles in a clinical environment and for various different types of readings and stuff as well. So that starts in February, which is going to be ongoing, and then obviously we've got people arriving from the UK to come, just spend quality time with family. So it's all going to be really full on over that period. So I'm not running any courses in March or April. The next one after that, it'll be the Soul Nourish retreat in May with you. So
that's exciting.
Oh, that's going to be
so
the best.
Exciting. Yeah, March, I'm redoing the DNA process training on the 7th and the 8th of March. There's still some spots left. This is for experienced practitioners only, because it's huge. So if you want to know more about that, you've just got to reach out, because I want to have a little chat with you first before signing anyone up.
Do you do like a 15-minute sort of call for people?
They have to book in and actually have a session of it first. I don't do the 15-minute calls for stuff. Unless it's for Bali or something like that, then I'll check to make sure that, you know, they're in the right space for it. But with the DNA, you actually have to have a session of it first.
Yeah.
Just so that, one, I can clear your ancestral lineage, because some people have got some pretty funky, chunky stuff in there. And also just make sure that you're properly aligned for the work, because it's big. It's really big. So yeah, that's happening again in March the 7th and 8th. I'm also doing it over in Melbourne. I forgot the dates. I think it's the 30th and 31st of January from memory in Melbourne. And then I'm off to HypnoBiz in March, and then straight over to Peru. So that's March and April. May, Soul Nourish, and then June, we're back in Inverloch for the 5-day Release, Rewire, Inspire Masters program, so our level 2. And then July, back to Bali for the Release, Rewire, Inspire. So that's the 5-day practitioner training. We hold it in Inverloch, and we also hold it in Bali. So Bali is women only, whereas Inverloch is men and women. So we've still got, I think, about 4 places left for July, Bali, Release, Rewire, Inspire. I think the dates off the top of my head is, I can't remember.
Wow. it's like just like you have to try catch Shani if you can. Like, she's going to be literally all over the globe, creating like a wave of well-being, and transforming people's lives in the process. It sounds incredible.
Yeah. And then September, Amsterdam. So, yeah, we're training people over there, soul business alignment, as well as presenting the DNA process, and Emma's presenting her timeline reset. But it'll all be nice and easy to find on our website, which I am currently creating. So it's like about 80% finished. So we might put the website up, and then people can have a look in hopefully a week or two, and they'll see that it's available and up and running.
Wow, it's fantastic, because I'm actually also running a release online course as well for women who are kind of just feeling stuck, and it's a 4-week journey. So it's the first 4 weeks of my 12-week signature program called Your True Colours, and that actually does start off with just an initial chat for 15 minutes, just so I can work out where you're at in your life right now, where you want to be, and if I'm actually the right person to take you through that process, because I kind of tend to work with overwhelmed women who want to, you know, sort of rediscover their inner wisdom so that they can lead more joyous and purposeful lives. So, you know, a lot of the women that come through are people that are just stuck, really. So that first 4 weeks is really just geared around helping them release resistance, fear, and low self-esteem or low self-confidence, you know, because that's kind of stuck within your base and your sacral and your solar plexus. So I really take them through. That is the most difficult part of the program, actually, but it's a really enjoyable one to see people transform over 4 weeks, and it really gets you back into a state of momentum, rather than it, you know, you just sort of feeling like you're standing on one leg.
So lots happening for 2020. So hopefully we're able to assist you on your journey in 2020 to help you discover more of who you are and how to really live the best version of you, because you know what, there's nothing stopping you other than you. So if you want to get unstuck and go out there and create the life of your dreams, then reach out, because
absolutely,
that's what we're after. Well, that's what we do.
That's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, above and beyond all of that, just have a fantastic Christmas as well, whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I'll have a drink to that.
And a Happy New Year, and stay safe, and lots of love to everybody.
Bye for now.
Bye.